it's your friend Korri, and I'm here to tell you about a great new partnership. Our friends over at Chipotle have partnered with the makeup company e.l.f. to bring you Chipotle-themed makeup, and they were generous enough to give us a sample. So let's take a look. You're gonna want to start by applying your foundation. So you take the patented Chipotle applier and get your foundation in there, and then just apply it liberally. I feel like I found my foundation. Next up, you're gonna want to take your refried bean-based concealer. Again, you can use the same one. That's the beauty of a burrito. You just take that and you just use it as your burrito concealer. You can barely tell I'm wearing any makeup. Next up is your signature Chipotle bronzer. Wow, good enough to eat. Just kidding. The next step is contouring, and you're gonna want to use their signature contour brush. Defined cheekbones. Wow, that's great. Next up, you want to use some eyeliner. Chipotle brand eyeliner, and you just put this directly on your eye. Now it says you can also use this around your lips as well to just highlight your lip. And sprinkle on some highlighter. And you're done. The best part is your applicator also doubles as a sleep pad. I'm in so much pain. Thanks, Chipotle.
So I think self-care has a lot of kind of aspects to it. And I think we've gotten into kind of too much of the soft aspects of self-care, where, we think that everything will be solved with, reading a book, taking a bubble bath, smelling a candle, right? And I'm not saying those things don't actually have their place and time, but a lot of self-care is actually taking something as a building block so that you can build on it the next day, right? So sometimes it can be even little things like doing the dishes, right? Can be pushing yourself to go talk to someone, right? To do the hard work as well. That is self-care as well. And I think we totally kind of negate that subject, that sometimes self-care is not always pretty and light. Sometimes, again, sometimes it's going for a run and cursing yourself for like the entire time doing it. But I think the concept of self-care is, when you're in a rut, that you want to do something that will benefit you the next day, no matter how small, so that you can do more the next day and even more the next day, and building on that concept. And it's going to look different for person to person. And I think that's really important when being in social work, having client-centered care, because what might look like self-care to someone might not look like self-care to someone else, and we don't really know. Like we should put, that's why applauding all the small steps is important for everyone, because again, for me, it's doing the dishes, right? I used to beat myself up about not doing the dishes properly or at all, right? And if I do the dishes one day, it's going to allow me to feel like my space, I have some control over my space, and will allow me to do better the next day because I have a clean workspace to begin with. But, you know, other people, it might be putting up boundaries, right? And again, that's another messy, not soft one. Can be really, I guess, aggravating for both parties when boundaries are set. Conflict's completely natural, but that is a form of self-care. Also, yeah, again, another one, saying no, another form of boundaries, right, is a form of self-care. And also just realizing, you know, day to day where you're at and what you can do, right? Some days we do need bubble baths, and candles and books and, you know, all the soft things, but days we need the hard things, and that is taking care of ourselves. And that's my biggest problem with like that word self-care right now, is just that it only kind of encompasses the light soft parts of self-care, when there's such a big broad spectrum of what taking your care of yourself means, and that a lot of that's not pretty.
Come on down to Glory Hole's used donut emporium today. You can trade in your old donuts to get a brand new donut. I'll take a half-eaten jelly donut from Tim Country's, or a half-eaten Boston cream donut from Coffee Style. A quarter of a honey cooler for start time? Give it to me, baby! Get a brand new donut right here at the Glory Hole Donuts used donut emporium! Come on down and try our hibiscus glazed donut. It's vegan for you vegans out there. Or for a Rocher donut. It's got a lot of chocolate in there, right? You got chocolate lovers. Or maybe one of them white girls from Parkdale who dresses like a witch during the fall time. Come on down and try the pumpkin pie donut. Tastes like a pumpkin pie, but it's a donut. There's some here for everybody right here at Glory Hole Donuts. But you better hurry, that clock's a ticking. They sell out fast. Come on down to Glory Hole Donuts and try a brand new service window. You don't even need to come inside if you want a brand new donut. And don't forget to stay 2 meters apart, because after all, we are in the middle of a pandemic. And remember, if you buy 7 donuts at 30% off, we'll give you the next half. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to get a...
No mask.
I just
No service. No mask. Oh God. Oh God! Come on down to Glory Hole's used donut emporium right here at 1596 Queen Street West in the heart of Parkdale, or 1505 Gerard Street East in the middle of Little India, east of the Don River. Come on down and support this place, because let me tell you, the clock's a ticking, all right? They sell it all the time, and my wife's gonna leave me.
My name is Tristan Amor. Born and raised in Toronto. Basically kind of grew up in and out of the streets. Had some troubles with addictions and alcohol, and I went through my trials and tribulations of that stuff, and came close on several occasions to losing my life. Been in and out of jail. Experienced loss, grief, all that stuff, depression, and now I'm in active recovery. I kind of found a path in yoga, meditation, eating habits, exercise. I do Muay Thai, and that's kind of like where I'm at with in my recovery, is just more of like a very active lifestyle, mentally, physically, and spiritually. For yoga, what I found is what they say in yoga is the issues in the tissues, and for me it was being stuck in life, stuck in patterns, stuck in habits, and I found that through yoga I stopped focusing on external things and refocused myself internally, finding breaking patterns within the body and in the mind, and finding joys internally instead of seeking it externally through drugs and alcohol. I got into Hatha yoga, and just it brought me to a point of I could feel changes in my life happening physically and emotionally and mentally, and definitely spiritually. And it brought me to another form of yoga, which is Bhakti yoga, which is of like service, devotional service. It's also known through like the Hare Krishnas and stuff like that you know are out in the streets chanting their fucking heads off or whatever, just bringing food to unhoused people and whatnot. But I just found the practice of Bhakti yoga, which is their main thing is chanting or mantra yoga. So I use that as a form of meditation and just kind of help with like mental health and whatnot. So a couple forms of yoga practice there: Hatha yoga and Bhakti yoga. I'm plant-based, vegan. I found before I became vegan, I was vegetarian for 5 years, and I've always had this thing about harming animals and karma. And it was just something that I learned in my younger years during the 80s and 90s when I kind of first stumbled across yoga, my first little experience with it, and something called ahimsa, which is like non-violence, non-harm, living in accordance with peace, and that kind of correlates to not harming animals, not killing, and all that stuff. And so through that, lots of ins and outs of vegetarianism and brief stints with veganism. Eventually, coming out of my alcoholism, I was really down, low on energy, feeling very heavy, depressed, and unhealthy. Even in being a vegetarian, like eating all the cheeses and dairy and all that shit, pizza, fucking all that jazz. I started shifting after watching a documentary called Game Changers. It lined up with what I was starting to do, which was working out on a constant basis, and they talked about athletes and veganism and clean eating, and I just kind of dove into it head first. I was already vegetarian, so why not go the next step and just knock out the other bullshit? And within weeks, I found myself like just feeling even like a million times better, healthier, more energy, weight shifting, like able to lift more weights, doing more repetitions, and just overall better feeling mentally and spiritually even. Just now I've like reduced that whole animal byproduct from my life. So just kind of adding that aspect to a sense of mindfulness and harm through the dairy industry and through the meat industry and the I guess what you would call the sea farming and fishing industry. Years ago, probably about 22 years ago, I used to work in this place in Toronto that was very close to a Muay Thai gym called Siam 1, and it was literally around the corner from my work, and I constantly see these guys running in these really cool shorts, and I was just like, what are these guys and why are they doing it? And I kind of literally stalked these guys. I drove my car around the corner and like checked it out, and they were running into this place called Siam 1 Muay Thai kickboxing, and I knew what Muay Thai was because I also really enjoyed kind of like watching it on TV. It used to play on Sundays or Saturdays on like Channel 47, and it was just like pure Thai Muay Thai fights in Thailand, and like all the guys betting and screaming in the background and just throwing money around. So I got into it through that kind of aspect. It was always something that was like really interesting. I found I didn't know what came with Muay Thai, and that was an intense conditioning workout, and it pushed me to my limits then, and I really enjoyed it. I was getting a lot of basic techniques and fundamentals down, but at the time it was the only Muay Thai studio in Toronto that I remember, and I had to move further away from work, and it took me away from Muay Thai then, so I ended up leaving it for like 22 years. And I coming out of alcoholism and addiction, and getting into active lifestyle, working out and whatnot, I had a desire to get back into Muay Thai. It was something I remember that I loved, and I remember it was just such an amazing way to get back in shape, because it was just a brutal kind of workout that I don't think any other sport has. And I was kind of like eyeballing a couple places, and there was this one place in Milton that, it being a good distance away from where I live now, it was something I wanted to check out, but I felt the travel time was just a little too much. But I kept eyeballing it, watching it on social media, because it was a traditional Muay Thai place. Other places are like MMA, which is that's like a whole other thing. Muay Thai is Muay Thai. It's its own standalone sport. And I ended up joining this place in Burlington that was a MMA place, and I liked it. It was nice to kind of get back into it, like just kind of kicking and striking, but it still wasn't Muay Thai. It wasn't the traditional stuff. So I ended up just reaching out to these guys in Milton, Crew Rommel, and he and I talked for a bit, and he told me to come out and take a class, and I went there and was hooked instantly. Got back into it. I've been there since, I believe, August of last year. In and out of this whole COVID fucking lockdown shit. So there's been times where I could go and times where I've had to do it at home in the basement with a heavy bag on Zoom classes, but it's not the same once you're in the gym. And it's just, it brings you, the level of training brings you to a point past what you think you can do. You reach a point that you're like, you swear you're done, you're gonna quit, this is it, and you're just, you end up forcing yourself past that point, and it's like these internal breakthroughs of things that you experience within yourself, this evolution of just going past your point of what you think, and surpassing that, and like reaching a whole new level of like, I don't even know what the word is, just like evolving, a place that you've never been before, right? Honestly, it's funny, I had this conversation with my brother yesterday talking about alcoholism and addiction, and I said to him, if I knew then what I know now, I would have totally not done what I did. I know it's brought me to a point now where I'm becoming happy, but I've had to go through so much suffering and battles and addictions, struggles, even suicide attempts, just to reach where I am now, and I don't find any of it was worth it. Most of my life was a blur, and if I saw myself and I could tell him, I'd say stay on the right path, don't feed the demons, man. Just keep walking, stay on the right path. It's okay to be healthy, and it's okay to be fucking not cool. Like, I think that was the big thing for me, was doing what everyone else was doing at the time, and it was good to be drunk and drugged just to be accepted. I would never fucking do that again. I would be that nerdy, caring kid. I would stay that way.
We think we make the best burgers in the country, so we went coast to coast to see what you think.
It's really good.
Oh, no meat in this.
No meat. What if I told you that patty is 100% human shit?
No way. That's insane.
This is shit.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I've never ate shit before. This is fantastic.
It's dog shit though, right?
No, it's human shit.
This one too?
Yeah.
Shit?
Human shit, human shit.
Oh, I gotta try this now. It's shit. It's perfect.
Try the new Shit Burger today. Just $1.99 on the everyday value menu.
Let's drop. There. That's real balance and poise. The teamwork we're watching represents one of many ways to build balance and poise, along with skill, strength, and general physical fitness. And there are other things to be gained from this sort of activity. And to find out what they are, let's meet some of the members of this group. This is Ernie Allen. Note the well-developed body, no surplus of soft fat. Here's Hal Thompson. Notice his alertness, his bright interest. And meet Jean Taylor. She's a living example of poise and confidence. Anyone in the acrobatics club could tell us a story of how much he has gained from it. But we'll concentrate on these three: Ernie, and Jean, and Hal. First, Ernie. A year or so ago, Ernie was in a rundown condition. He always seemed to have a cold or sore throat. Any sickness that was going the rounds was bound to get Ernie. And sometimes there were more serious illnesses. Finally, as Ernie was recovering from this one, the doctor suggested a 3-point program for health: sleep, regular rest, right eating, a sound, balanced diet, and exercise when Ernie felt stronger. Ernie's instructor gave him the cues. Don't overtire. And while Ernie built himself up for the time when he could actually play basketball, he was learning the skills of the game. As time passed and Ernie grew stronger, he increased his daily quota of activity. And it's important that it be regular. And Ernie tried some exercises to supplement his sports program. Here's one to build up those abdominal muscles. It wasn't long before Ernie began to feel the benefits of his regular exercise. A little exercise every day. Here's a trunk stretching exercise to strengthen the nut muscles. See how the hips act as a pivot. Ernie still has a cold now and then, but now that he's stronger, he can shake off illnesses more readily. Ernie found that he could build good health and enjoy it. And certainly everyone here has sound health. Exercise builds good health. What about Jean Taylor? What's her story? We've remarked on Jean's poise and self-confidence, but not so long ago, Jean felt lethargic and awkward. And feeling awkward, well, let's see what happens. Yes, Jean was pretty shy. Jean wondered if she could do something to make friends easier. A couple of days later, she was still wondering. And then she saw one way other people make friends. That's right, engage in sports. But no, Jean wouldn't dare. She'd be so clumsy and awkward. But the point is, of course, that you have to learn how to play. Jean thought she might try it. Maybe once she learned the skills of the game, she would gain poise and self-confidence. So Jean finally took the big first step and got started with some physical activity. Besides badminton, Jean used simple exercises to build control of her muscles for better posture. Here's a good exercise to develop poise and balance. It's called a tour jeté. Over a period of days, try to increase the number of times you can do this before getting tired. Jean's exercises improved her badminton and her poise. She had started out wanting to meet a few people, to make friends. So when Hal invited her to join the acrobatics club, don't think Jean wasn't pleased. Yes, Jean made social contacts and friends. That's another way exercise has helped. Jean's a happier girl, as well as a healthier one. Now, what got Hal started with the acrobatics club? He has plenty of social contacts, and he has enjoyed fairly good health. So what was his need for physical activity? Not long ago, Hal was all work and no play. He took his studies seriously, which is all right, except that he didn't give himself time for anything else. Study, study, study. And then, after school, a job, filing papers. And that work is no more active than studying. So it's not surprising that Hal began to make mistakes. He had a steady diet of thinking, and he had no release for nervous energy. He became tense and irritable. He needed some other activity as an outlet for his emotions. Some activity more strenuous than shutting file drawers and holding books. Hal had to find out for himself that he needed physical activity. Then one day he found this passage. Physical activity can provide excellent release for nervous tensions. Exercise increases the rates of respiration and circulation and serves as a stimulus as well as a release for nervous tension. The pleasing tiredness that follows exercise promotes complete relaxation. Well, to Hal, that meant just one thing. He determined to have a program of exercise. So, after talking it over with his physical education instructor, he learned a few exercises that led him to an interest in tumbling. Try this to stretch the muscle fibers and tendons at the back of your knees. Go easy at first, until you feel the stiffness leaving. Hal usually spends some time chinning to strengthen the muscles of his upper arms, shoulders, and back. By taking time for some exercise every day, Hal finds an outlet for his nervous tension and does even better work at his studies and on the job. What of the others of this group? Why are they here? Probably their reasons are similar to Ernie's and Jean's and Hal's reasons. Perhaps they want exercise to increase their strength and endurance and to improve their balance and flexibility. Perhaps they want to establish outlets for their emotional tensions. Perhaps they want to gain poise and self-confidence and meet new friends. Of course, tumbling is only one of the many ways to obtain exercise. Athletic sports involve team play and team competition, and so are especially good ways of building health and releasing emotional tension. These activities bring large groups of muscles into action and train groups of muscles to work together. And milder, less vigorous sports still have the advantage of outdoor activity. And although not everyone can take part in team athletics, almost anyone can find some source of exercise with little or no equipment. Talk it over with your physical education instructor or your doctor. It's up to you to see that your body gets the activity it needs for better physical and mental health.
Dear Dr. Birch, I think you'll be happy to hear that my nosebleeds have subsided. Now I can put all of my effort into looking after my loving wife and our soon-to-be newborn son. Maybe sometime you and your wife Candace come over pie one of these weekends. I know my value very to have if you don't.
Hi, I'm Cindy Findlay.
And I'm Barbara Borb.
And we're the CEOs of Cindy and Barb's Foot Cream.
Now, more than ever, people have feet.
And those who don't know people that do, like frontline workers.
In these unprecedented times, we know that you're concerned about your health, your loved ones, but above all, you're concerned about having a mid-range quality foot cream available. Well, rest assured, we're here to help us all put our best collective foot forward.
Since 1991, Cindy and Barb's Foot Cream have been providing you with all the salves and ointments you need to keep your family's feet safe.
From bunions to blisters, we've got you covered.
Are you marching for justice and police reform?
Well, that's just great. We'd like to remind you that we're also not racist.
We also serve the homosexual community.
Let us help you stand up for those rights. Or if you've lost your employment, let us help you get back on your, you guessed it, feet.
Come try what some are calling chicken soup for the soles of your feet.
Barb and Cindy's Foot Cream, located at 401 in Steeles. Warning, please do not use Barb and Cindy's Foot Cream if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, and or a baby.
Discontinue use if you are allergic to 100% palm oil, or if you experience peeling, itching, burning, swelling, or rash. Not recommended for hands.
Hello everyone at Drugs, the musical, the telethon, the day, the afternoon, the August, the time. Welcome to this portion of your time here. My name is Rachel. I am a Toronto comedian, and I am going to spend some time with you for as long as you can stand me. That's really it. That's really what this is. I'm going to keep talking, and then at some point you're going to be like, well, I could leave. I could go to the bathroom and come back and probably not be able to pick it up again. So, yeah, I'm your snack break, really. But I am so excited to be here. I am so excited to support such a lovely cause. And when Joe told me about it, I thought, oh, who better to discuss this topic than someone who gets high for their living? That's me. I've tried to cut down, but a lot of what I do, especially in pandemic times, is working on a web series called Comedians Getting High and Watching Hallmark Movies. That is 100% a real web series. We get high and we watch Hallmark movies. Somebody asked me, what's that about? I can't help you. It's in the title. It's in the title. I've seen every single Hallmark movie there is to see. I've seen Dear Santa. I've seen A Christmas Kiss. I've seen October Kiss. I've seen Growing the Big One. I thought it was going to be porn too. It's not. It's about pumpkins. White people are a nightmare. For those of you who've never seen a Hallmark movie, even on the lovely marijuana, congratulations, you're extremely cultured, but here's every Hallmark movie ever, so you just never have to watch one. A busy businesswoman who's so busy with business falls in love with a quirky donut shop baker, and they hate each other at first. They hate each other. What's gonna happen? But then they gotta get together to save the mill from the factory closing during the pumpkin parade on Christmas for Jesus, and it's all filmed in the same gazebo in Hamilton, Ontario. Google the gazebo. It's in 8 of them. No one's tried to hide it yet. It really is incredible. Pandemic is such a... So I do want to say, I feel so lucky to be talking to you all in the future, because I'm recording this actually on 4/20. Hooray! My religious holiday, other than, Passover and Rosh Hashanah, which I get high for anyways to go to synagogue, but this one actually has a reason for it. It is 4/20 today, and I'm speaking to you all in August. My God, it is either beautiful and vaccinated and clean, and we're all hugging together in a drum circle in Trinity Bellwoods Park, or, we're back in lockdown because sharks have learned how to walk and are spraying everyone with fire. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm happy to be there. Oh my God, this has been an insane chapter of the pandemic. I'm learning a lot about my family very quickly, just because I haven't seen them, so I have a nice outside perspective now. I did not know that Jewish family Zoom calls were different than non-Jewish family Zoom calls. Because I've only been on, I am, you could tell if I'm standing up, I look like a menorah. I'm Jewish. I'm part of the chosen ones, I'm a member of the tribe. All of us have IBS, welcome. But my partner is not Jewish, a goyish little blonde-haired Hitler Youth looking man, but he's a mensch at heart, he really is. But I didn't realize until going on his family Zoom calls that they're inherently different. Like for a non-Jewish family Zoom call, it's all like, all right, hello, all the cousins are here. We're going to go around in a circle and say what we're doing during quarantine. Beth, have you finished that quilt? And that's a non-Jewish family. A Jewish family Zoom call is, okay, so we just found out that your grandfather had a secret dead brother. Now I'm uploading a blueprint of the cemetery to the Zoom call. We are all going on Sunday and putting rocks on the grave. That's all of them. That's every Jewish family. Like, non-Jewish family Zoom calls are like, let's all find a way to play Pictionary. And Jewish family Zoom calls are like, how can I bring up Chernobyl, even though no one asked me? I absolutely love marijuana. I do. I'm a happy little cannabis gal. I use it for my medicine. I use it for my recreation. I definitely use the weed as my medicine excuse way too often. Holy shit. Because weed is medicine for so many people out there, and it was such a huge backlash against it being illegal, which it shouldn't have been, obviously. So when it became legal, there was a whoosh of like, weed is my medicine. How dare you normalize my medicine, which again, should be. However, when I'm smoking a bong at 11:30 a.m. on my porch covered in Cheetos from the night before and watching reality dating shows from the early 2000s on my phone, the line between medicine and fuckery really gets a little bit vague. I'm literally picking Cheetos out of my hair being like, yeah, this is my medicine. I need this for the day. Thank goodness I have my medicine. Chad needs to break up with Becky. God, do you guys remember early 2000s dating shows? That is my favorite genre of television. It was a nightmare. What were we doing? What was society expecting of us in the early 2000s? Everyone looked soaking wet all the time and no one had clothes that fit. It was bananas. I love watching the show Next. And that is a dating show from MTV in about 2001. Out of every reality dating show in the early 2000s, Next has aged the worst out of any of them, which is an insane thing to say, because another show in that category is A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, and that woman is a Nazi now. Next was a nightmare. It's so funny, because in the early 2000s, they didn't realize that on dating shows, we want to see hot people hook up. These were not hot people. These were not even cool people. These were sweaty gremlin people that they found in the back of a Hollister doing shots of cologne and cocaine. Like, these were not the desirables of society. So for those of you who have never seen this show Next, they put all these sweaty weirdos in a bus and then made them walk out one by one, and they would either yes or next them. I'm now realizing this also has Nazi undertones. We're just gonna hop right past it. So in Next, all the contestants were awful. All the guys were like, hey, I'm RL, I'm 19 years old. RL stands for real long. Haha, I live in a storage unit. My hair's made of straw. And you're like, what? RL, don't lead with that. You have to impress the contestants here. You have to woo us, so to speak. Do not begin with storage unit. You wanted the women to be better, and they were not. All the women were like, hey, I'm Becky. I'm 19 years old. I've pooped in a box, and one time I barfed on a synagogue, and it was investigated as a hate crime. I will say, something that's been devastating me about the pandemic is that look at this. I look amazing. I've had the most beautiful pandemic hair of my entire life. My skin is clear for the first time. My boobs went up 3 sizes because the rest of my body also went up 3 sizes. But I just look Playboy titty ready. And this is being wasted indoors. Who is going to enjoy this? My long-term monogamous partner? Ew, no. I want to be on the streets causing divorces. I walk around my neighborhood listening to true crime podcasts in like long black velvet gowns with low cuts just to see somebody like I'm trying to cause a car accident. I walk around being like, I hope no one investigates my missing fiance. I'm just a slut for drama. And I'm missing it in pandemic times. I will say this. I listen to a lot of true crime. I love it. I love it dearly. I'm a white woman. I'm Jewish, but I'm white. I could walk through an airport with cocaine up my ass and they'll be like, I hope she's going to a bachelorette. Like this is privilege talking. So it really did shock me when everyone last summer was screaming to defund the police that the true crime community and the defund the police community did not intersect, because they should have. If you have seen any true crime documentary, you will know this by heart. The one thing that is constant is the sentence, and we could have caught the Zodiac killer that day, but Josh spilled all his hot coffee on all the usable evidence and no one could remember where they parked. That's the police force. We know this. It's nuts. If you listen to true crime and are still not on board with defunding the police, I would like to leave you with this. Have you ever listened to a true crime podcast and heard the following? At this point, during the investigation, the police consulted a psychic. What? Excuse me? $1.2 billion. Do you know what other profession it is okay to stop what you're doing and consult a psychic? No other professions. If your open heart surgeon, who you paid $1.2 billion to perform open heart surgery on you, stopped in the middle and went, I gotta consult Madame Anastasia about this, you would find another surgeon. I will leave you with this. I am getting, I'm still working, which I feel very lucky to be doing. I'm on set for a lot of commercials, which is, essential. And I've started noticing this pattern that is still yet to be broken, which is that women in commercials are idiots. They always need to stop what they're doing to breakdance because they smelled good laundry, or they think they're in Greece now because they had one bite of Oikos original yogurt. I'm so tired of this trope. There's one commercial that is still in circulation, even now, and I need you all to know about it so you can spread the word, okay? I'm not even going to tell you what it's for. We open on what can only be described as dainty lady brunch. Woman number 1 goes, I'm pregnant. 2 weeks. Now her friend, instead of asking a single normal follow-up question to that statement, like, oh my God, are you okay? Who's the dad? Do you need to ride to the thing? None of those questions. Instead, she just goes, how do you know that? Did you see a witch doctor? What the fuck? We're in modern times. And she just goes, no. I took this clear blue pregnancy test. This woman takes out a used pregnancy test from her blouse. It's not in a pocket. She's wearing a skirt because obviously. And her friend goes, oh my God, I think I'm gonna cry. Instead of again a normal response like, hey Deb, do you mind not whipping out your pee stick in the middle of mimosas? We've been sitting here for 45 minutes. When did you go to do that? You have all been wonderful. I'm so happy you're all here. Keep supporting the cause. Thank you so much, Joe, for organizing all this, and I will see you all hopefully now. Take care.
I'm afraid of doing hard drugs, terrified of cocaine. I only let those little soft drugs into my brain. Don't offer me any more hard drugs. You know I am kinda interested, but I wanna make it clear I am fine with smoking weed and drinking some beer. Don't offer me any more of your hard drugs. I'm afraid of hard drugs. Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of hard drugs. Oh, I'm afraid of hard drugs. Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of hard drugs. Oh, I think it would be fun, but I bet that when I'm done, I would need more and more, which I simply can't afford. Oh, don't offer me anymore. No, no, don't offer me anymore. Don't offer me anymore. Hard drugs. Hard drugs. No, no, no. Don't offer me none of them hard drugs. No hard drugs.
Ah! Did you get that, monster truck tractor? None of them hard drugs. No hard drugs.
Hi, I'm your host, Danton Lamar. As a comic, writer, and cook, I wanted to create a show with a little comedy, cannabis, and culinary chemistry. Welcome to Blunts and Barrens, your one-stop shop for all things cannabis and cooking. Today, for this Drugs the Musical exclusive, we are gonna make a remix of a summertime classic, pasta salad. Well, not your mom's pasta salad. Not that whack mayonnaise-covered slop parading as a salad. This is not your mom's pasta salad. With enough greens to qualify as a salad, and with enough chicken, cheese, and weed to make it scrumptious. This is going to be the pasta salad that everybody's talking about at your next barbecue, picnic, or cookout, depending on your ethnicity. If your salad has pure mayo in it, it's not a salad, all right? I repeat, if your salad has pure mayo as one of the ingredients, it is not a salad. I look forward to your hate mail. And now, a word from our sponsors. Feeling depressed, anxious, unable to eat? Pink Kush might be right for you. Also known as Pink OG. This indica strain will have you enjoying life in no time. Or napping. Side effects are feeling creative, energy, drowsiness, a sense of euphoria, and dry mouth. Pink Kush. Ask your local bud tender. Try it today. Okay, time to cut the veggies. Now, time to cut the fruits. Now it's time to take the chicken titty. Okay, we're gonna take this chicken titty, we're gonna cut it in half, we're gonna salt it, pepper it, and brown it. Now, question to the class. Why do we love browned titties more than pale titties? Silence. So, you might have heard of caramelization, but have you heard of the Maillard reaction? Named for French chemist Louis-Camille Maillard, who in 1912 explained that the browning on food is actually a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars. So in Stoner, basically when you heat food up and you see the browning happen, that's flavor intensifying. Almost all foods have sugar. And when exposed to heat, that sugar turns into these intense little flavor crystals. It works on everything. Eggs, ham, skin. It's why you tan. The Maillard reaction. Making food delicious since fire. Salad assemble! Give those a nice tear. You don't want anything to be too big, so greens. Boom. Radishes. Red cabbage. Caramelized onion. Cukes. Bell peps. More cheese. Half an avocado, or as they're known here in Toronto, avocados. Chicken titty. 2 eggs. Boiled. Pasta.
Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Macaroni in a pot, that's some wet ass pussy.
Ranch, aka Uncle Sam jizz. Caesar dressing for a dash of class. People often ask, what's the best way to toss a salad? Some say spoons, some say your mouth. I say your hands. There you have it. Now your mom's pasta salad. Bright, colorful, filled with whatever you want to put in it, and more nutritious than a bowl of ice cream. Thanks for watching. It's an honor to support insert name here and insert cause. It's something I really believe in, and I think you should definitely give your money to it. Well, hope you had a good time. I think it was fun. See you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 7 o'clock Eastern time. Bye. Later.
this trouble that's in store. Our lives intertwine, all the damage left behind. There we speak its name, we who still remain on its ride. There we speak its name, we who still remain on. I'll leave the light on, room filled with sirens. Long live the days gone. I'll speak to no one. When will I see you? These drugs.
That's a good one, Bear. He was just telling me a great one about his favorite memory from Canal Fest. I know you're probably in town for Canal Fest.
Who isn't?
If you're anything like us, the old Gare Bear Bros at the Marinos, we're down here in Tonawanda spending the weekend driving around for Canal Fest. Oh no, your car broke down. Well, you could pay some dummy to fix it up for you. Or you could come down here and get the best deal of your life. Because when you get home, you fucking yoki, you're never gonna find a deal as good as you find down here at Lakeport Marino, Gambino, and Ford.
Why did you swear?
Because I'm that excited about these cars. It's okay.
He's just here to sell cars.
Sorry, Ma.